Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class today. Before we start reading from the Bhagavad Gita, I would like to read a little bit from this special book called the Transcendental Diary from His Grace Harishauri Prabhu, just to hear a little bit about Srila Prabhupada before we start hearing from Bhagavad Gita. I whimsically opened Prabhupada pointed out one of New Delhi's flea-bitten dogs sniffing in the gutter. The wretched dog was homeless, scratching for food and suffering without a master. "This is Shudra," he said. "If anyone depends on the master's mercy, he is a Shudra." Here in New Delhi, these big buildings, big officers, as soon as the government will sell, they will be street dogs, that's all. Now they are plundering by official instrument. So when the government will be finished, they will be street dog. This is your civilization. Immediately, if all of a sudden there is attack on New Delhi, all the people will starve. There is no food at home, and they will die. That's a really important point. Harikesha responded that the government takes more and more, and everybody gets poorer and poorer. Yes, Prabhupada replied, the government is also poor because they do not know how to govern. Buddhi yasya balam tasya. If one has got intelligence, he has got strength. Harikesha added, Change of government means getting poorer. Just like they say, Prabhupada confirmed, a change of theories by the rascals. Change means rascal. Anything change means it is the domain of rascals. Pandemonium. Just like in Manu Samhita, it is said that women should not be given independence. Once said that is fact. If you want to change, you suffer. That's all. I said, any deviation from absolute law means immediate suffering. Prabhupada agreed. Bas. Immediately you have to suffer. You are painting a pretty bleak picture, Harikesha suggested. Prabhupada didn't immediately catch his idiomatic expression, so Harikesha elaborated. The one you are painting of society and the future. There is no hope. No, Prabhupada said. Unless they take to Krishna consciousness, there is no hope. That's a fact. There will be more chaotic condition, and everyone will suffer and perish. Ajchinna dara travina yasyanti giri kananam. Having their wives and property taken away, the citizens will flee to the mountains and forests. Srimad Bhagavatam 12:2-8. This is already predicted. I am not painting, it is already there. I am simply repeating, that's all. I am not speculator. Actually, most of them are aware that they are in a very bad position. I added, everybody is expecting another war. Yes, just see. This is the capital of India. Just see the position. We can now understand. Prabhupada somberly observed an overloaded hand-drawn cart pulled by several dirty, poorly dressed and barefoot men. Their veins bulged as they strained and sweated to get their load to its destination. Economic development, he mocked. Where is economic development for these men? When there was no economic development, the same Tyler, cart, and poor people with black clothes were there. And now the same thing is still there. So where is development? Nature's law, you cannot check. It must go on, Bhagavata says. Don't try to improve all these things. It is not possible. Improve your Krishna consciousness. That will be benefit of your life. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are going to read from chapter 8, verse number 3. Chapter 8 is called Attaining the Supreme. The verse goes as follows. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavodhyatmam Uchyate Svabhavodhyatmam Uchyate Bhuta Bhavotpavakaro Bhuta Bhavotpavakaro Visarga Karma Samgitaha Visarga Karma Samgitaha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavodhyatmam Uchyate Bhuta Bhavotpavakaro Visarga Karma Samgitaha. Word to word. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Aksharam, indestructible, Brahma, Brahman, Paramam, transcendental, Svabhavaha, eternal nature. Adhyatmam, the self. Uchyate is called. Bhutapava, Utpavakaraha, producing the material bodies of the living entities. Visargaha, creation. Karma, fruitive activities. Sangitaha is called. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma, or fruitive activities. Purport. Brahman is indestructible and eternally existing, and its constitution is not changed at any time. But beyond Brahman there is Para-Brahman. Brahman refers to the living entity, and Para-Brahman refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The constitutional position of the living entity is different from the position he takes in the material world. In material consciousness, his nature is to try to be the Lord of matter. But in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, his position is to serve the Supreme. When the living entity is in material consciousness, he has to take on various bodies in the material world. That is called karma, or varied creation by the force of material consciousness. In Vedic literature, the living entity is called Jivatma and Brahman, but he is never called Para-Brahman. The living entity, Jivatma, takes different positions. Sometimes he merges into the dark material nature and identifies himself with matter, and sometimes he identifies himself with the superior spiritual nature. Therefore he is called the Supreme Lord's marginal energy. According to his identification with material or spiritual nature, he receives a material or spiritual body. In material nature, he may take a body from any of the 8,400,000 species of life, but in spiritual nature, he has only one body. In material nature, he is unmanifested, sometimes as a man, demigod, animal, beast, bird, etc., according to his karma. To attain material heavenly planets and enjoy their facilities, he sometimes performs sacrifices, yajna. But when his merit is exhausted, he returns to the earth, again in the form of a man. This process is called karma. The Chandogya Upanishad describes the Vedic sacrificial process. On the sacrificial altar, 5 kinds of offerings are made into 5 kinds of fire. The 5 kinds of fire are conceived of as the heavenly planets, clouds, the earth, man, and woman. And the 5 kinds of sacrificial offerings are faith, the enjoyer on the moon, rain, grains, and the semen. In the process of sacrifice, the living entity makes specific sacrifices to attain specific heavenly planets and consequently reaches them. When the merit of sacrifice is exhausted, the living entity descends to earth in the form of rain, then takes on the form of grains, and the grains are eaten by man and transformed into semen, which impregnates a woman, and thus the living entity once again attains the human form to perform sacrifice, and so repeat the same cycle. In this way, the living entity perpetually comes and goes on the material path. The Krishna-conscious person, however, avoids such sacrifices. He takes directly to Krishna consciousness and thereby prepares himself to return to Godhead. Impersonalist commentators on the Bhagavad Gita unreasonably assume that Brahman takes the form of Jiva in the material world, and to substantiate this they refer to chapter 15, verse 7 of the Bhagavad Gita. But in this verse, the Lord also speaks of the living entity as an eternal fragment of myself. The fragment of God, the living entity, may fall down into the material world, but the Supreme Lord, Achyuta, never falls down. Therefore, this assumption that the Supreme Brahman assumes the form of Jiva is not acceptable. It is important to remember that in Vedic literature, Brahman, the living entity, is distinguished from Parabrahman, the Supreme Lord. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananshana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Blankayate Girim Yat Kripatam Vaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishvaram Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Yena Putale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadandikam Vairagya Yagbuk Bhakti Rasam Prayatnair Apayana Mamana Pipsum Adam Kripam Pudirya Paradukha Dukhi Sanatanastvam Prabhum Ashrayame Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhu Vya Evacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavipyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavotyatmam Uchyate Puda Bhavot Pavakaro Visarga Karma Samgitaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the Self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma, or fruitive activities. Hare Krishna. So we get here the information that a Krishna conscious person directly turns towards Krishna, and therefore he is not doing yagyas of any other kinds as they are explained here. Yagyas with the result that one will be elevated to the higher planetary systems, and the result of this will sooner or later be that one again comes onto the earth back. And the process, how it goes, is also in detail explained here, that the living entity enters into grains and through the rain. And when this grain is eaten by a man, the living entity in this way goes into the semen, and when the semen impregnates a woman, then in this way the living entity gets born again. A Krishna conscious person avoids, therefore, out of intelligence, such sacrifices and directly turns towards Krishna. And especially we are doing this through the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The wonderful process of chanting the Lord's holy name. But in the Vedic scriptures, we are also informed that it is advised for beginners on the transcendental path to use another chanting. And for this purpose, I would like to repeat what Srila Prabhupada mentions in the wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter number 1. Chapter number 1, called The First Step in God Realization, verse number 17. Apyasen manasa shutam trivrit pramaksharam param mano yachchechchita shvaso pramabijam avismaran. After sitting in the above manner, make the mind remember the 3 transcendental letters, A, U, M, and by regulating the breathing process, control the mind, so as not to forget the transcendental seed. Purport. Omkara, or the pranava, is the seed of transcendental realization, and it is composed of the 3 transcendental letters, A, U, M. By its chanting, by the mind, in conjunction with the breathing process, which is a transcendental but mechanical way of getting into trance, as devised by the experience of great mystics, one is able to bring the mind, which is materially absorbed, under control. This is the way of changing the habit of the mind. The mind is not to be killed. Mind or desire cannot be stopped. But to develop a desire to function for spiritual realization, the quality of engagement by the mind has to be changed. Omkara is the seed of all transcendental sound, and it is only the transcendental sound which can bring about the desired change of the mind and the senses. And now it's a very interesting sentence. Even a mentally deranged man can be cured by treatment of transcendental sound. In the Bhagavad Gita, the pranava Omkara has been accepted as the direct literal representation of the Supreme Absolute Truth. One who is not able to chant directly the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, as recommended above, can easily chant the pranava Omkara. This Omkara is a note of address, such as, O my Lord, just as Om Hari Om means, O my Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here we hear about the process of chanting Om, and in order to bring the mind back and purify the mind, even it is said that, like in an easy language, said crazy people or mentally discharged people, as it is described here, they become healthy or normal again through the process of chanting transcendental sound vibration. And this is actually our main problem which we have. Our main problem which we have is our own mind, who can be our enemy or can be our friend. Therefore, Krishna advises us in the 6th chapter that wherever the mind goes, because of chanchala and astiram, because of its unsteady and flattering nature, one has to bring him back under the control of the self. So through Om, transcendental sound vibration Om, it is recommended in the beginning to use this. And Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Narasimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. One can experience it, especially one can experience it in the process of a devotional service, that when the mind makes troubles and problems, then it helps. It helps really. That as soon as you realize mind is making trouble, mind is making problem, you don't go into it, you don't follow the mind, you bring the mind back, you start with Om. As soon as something is going on, just Om. But we continue. We are not impersonalists. We continue. We say every day, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And there is a very nice meditation I once heard from an advanced devotee, that your mind, you compare your mind with an arrow. So by chanting Om, you take your mind like an arrow. And Om Namo, you put it on the bow, Namo. Bhagavate, you strengthen it, how to say, you spannst den Bogen. You pull. String. Stringen. Stringen it. Namo. Om Namo Bhagavate. Bhagavate, you direct the arrow. Where should it go? Bhagavate, to the lotus feet of Krishna. And Vasudevaya, you shoot it. You take your mind, Om, like an arrow. Namo, you put it on a bow. Om Namo Bhagavate, you strengthen it and you direct it to the goal, and Vasudevaya, I should go to Krishna, to Vasudeva, the lotus feet of Krishna. So you practice this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Whatever may come, there may come anger, there may come greed, there may come envy, there may come lust. Whatever may be there, when you are engaged in devotional service and your mind makes troubles, you realize it. Troublemaking mind is coming. Om. Then it's Bhagavate Vasudeva. You have to try. It is wonderful. And especially, I don't say theoretically, I say out of experience, because especially, this is very important, this is what Krishna wants from us, and that we take shelter. This is the real gain that we have in our devotional service. We are contaminated, so therefore we have a fruitive mentality. And this fruitive mentality also comes into our devotional life. I want to have this and this achievement. I want to have this and this result. And it's about this and this result. But the real gain is that moments where we don't follow our mind, but where we surrender unto Krishna, where we don't allow our mind to pull us in his direction, but where we conquer over our mind by bringing him on a transcendental platform. Om is a completely transcendental platform. Everyone can chant it and can use this transcendental sound vibration. Therefore, because this is the real gain in devotional service, it is highly advised that we voluntarily put ourselves into conditions which are difficult, troublesome, maybe even suffering, so that in these troublesome and heavy conditions we can nicely learn how to surrender unto Krishna. This is the meaning of human life. Voluntarily accept difficult situations. And therefore, for every devotee, it is highly advised that at least for some time he should go on Sankirtan, book distribution. Going on the street, standing with the books on the street and approaching people. Excuse me, sir, are you from here or from far away? Excuse me, do you have time? Excuse me, do you like to read? No, I don't read. No, I don't have time. No, I don't like books. I don't want you. I don't like you. Just leave me alone. And people just ignore you. And you try, and you try, and you try, and you try. And it continues and continues. And even more and more. And at a certain point, you start praying and you start asking Krishna, Krishna, what is this? Why am I standing here? Can you tell me what is the purpose of this? Like Arjuna, standing there on the battlefield, asking Krishna, why should we fight against our relatives when even if we would win, all this gain that we have will be covered with the blood of our relatives? What is the gain of it? So similarly, it is wonderful if we come in such a situation, because in such a situation we have the chance to surrender to the Lord, to just say, in such a difficult situation, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Vasudeva, of Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my respectful and humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna and nothing else. I don't ask Krishna to help me, to change the situation, to make it better. I don't ask him for anything. I just accept it. I accept this difficult situation and I just surrender. All glories to you. You are the Supreme Lord and I surrender. Whatever else may be there, I just accept it. But you are the Supreme Lord, you are my Lord, I just surrender. This is the real gain in our life. This is where we should come. If we can do this, even only once, tatenu kampam susamikshamana. It is said in the Bhagavatam, if one, while executing devotional service, undergoes, due to past bad karma, he undergoes suffering. If in these situations he surrenders unto the Supreme Lord and offer his, with his words, with his mind, rikvakva purpir, and with his heart, obeisances and praise to the Lord, then liberation from the material world has become his right. He has the right to become liberated. If in devotional service he executed and he suffers and he surrenders to Krishna in that situation, then he has the right to become liberated. So that is where we want to come. This is our real goal. And this is up to us. This is what we can decide. This is the quality of our consciousness in devotional service, which we can decide if it's there or not. We can decide about the quality. The quality is up to us. The quantity is not up to us. The quantity Krishna may give. Krishna said to Arjuna, it is already decided, they will all die anyway. If you fight or do not fight, they will die. It's already decided. But you can be an instrument in my hands. And that is your glory. I give you this offering to be an instrument in my hand. So you think if you don't fight, that will be good. But if I give you this offering to be an instrument in my hand, and you do not accept it, that will be very shameful. So therefore do what I tell you, no matter if it means to kill them. Then kill them, and it will be glorious. So whatever Krishna does is good. Therefore we should have full faith. When we chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And Krishna gives us service. And this service may be hard. Its service may be difficult. It is wonderful. It is glorious for us. It is desired. It is Krishna's special mercy to bring us in such intense situations. And this is the meaning of this Sankirtan movement. Sankirtan means that Chaitanya's mercy means that everyone, no regard, no importance where he comes from, what kind of background he has, from which family he is coming, what kind of karma he has. Everyone receives Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy to come into the platform of pure Krishna consciousness, of worshipping Krishna on a platform as the inhabitants of Vrindavan are doing it. And this is very, 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 very rare. So therefore, the process is also there to become cleaned. And this process is to share Krishna consciousness with others. The process of religion is to, of course, glorify the Lord, we chant Hare Krishna, and to give it to others, to spread the glories of Krishna. This is the Dharma, this is the Yuga Dharma. Kali Yuga, Yuga Dharma, Namara Prachara. To preach the glories of Krishna is the Yuga Dharma. To go out on the street and to tell the people, excuse me, please listen to me. Do you know about Krishna? No? Let me please tell you. So everyone can find his own way, how to do it. Everyone is individual, and this is the wonderful thing. Sankirtan means you develop your personality. You develop your individuality. Yeah, and we may get some tips. You can learn from others how to do it. You get mantras, what to say, what not to say. You should learn. You should learn all these things from experienced Sankirtan devotees. But the real thing is when you go there on the street and you do it practically, you develop your own style. You develop your individual style, how to give Krishna consciousness to others. And this is really enlivening. This is really enlivening and gives you conviction that this is the real thing. And it gives you strength, it gives you enthusiasm to continue with this. And whatever the result may be, it may be big, or it may be, because Krishna is very merciful, not so big. Whatever it may be, it is good. But the quality is up to us. We can decide, are we going into the duality of this material world? This envy, this greed, this lust, this not understanding why things are happening to us. And do we insist that we are making Krishna responsible for it and become angry towards God and to Krishna? We can choose this path, or we can choose to surrender unto Him and say, I accept you as the Supreme Lord, I accept that I am inferior, just let me offer my obeisances unto your lotus feet. And whatever else may happen, let it happen, it is good, because everything you do is good. We have the best examples in the Vedic scriptures. Bali Maharaj went through such an intense process, and in the end he was highly glorious. So we are very fortunate to be part of the Sankirtan movement, because we can also go through such a wonderful process of having the possibility to show Krishna how serious we are, how serious we mean it with Him, that we really want Him, we really want to achieve Krishna, attain Krishna, and as we hear, on His planet, in the spiritual sky, to achieve pure prema, Krishna prema, as it is described in Goloka, as it is lived in Goloka Vrindavan. This is the offering. This is the offering of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for every one of us who joined this movement. And the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is freely giving the fruits. I have so many fruits, please take them. So we are ordered, we are meant to take these fruits, get these fruits, as many as possible, and distribute it to others. By doing this, by going through this process, we will become so purified and so cleansed in our heart that it will be possible for us to, in one life, achieve this goal. To go back to Krishna, to go back to His eternal pastimes and live with Him on the highest platform of Krishna consciousness in this very intimate relationship. And this is what Krishna really pleases. It is not that because it is so intimate and so high that it is very secret. No. It is hidden. It is hidden. But at the same time, it is what Krishna really wants. Yeah, it is this overwhelming, the love which is conquering Krishna. That Krishna can nothing do anymore than say to his devotees, let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. Let your devotional service be your glory, because I cannot pay you back anything anymore. You did so wonderful service to me. I am amazed. I like it very much. I only say, please, more. Aniyor, everything more. More kirtan, more books, more eating. Can you cook a little bit more? Everything more, and more. Everything is increasing in devotional service. This is the nature of Krishna consciousness. So this is the real life. This is where we really, really belong. And therefore, Sankirtan, this yajna, means that you voluntarily go into the fire of Sankirtan. You say, okay, I voluntarily go into this fire. I do it voluntarily. This is very good, because if you have a clay pot, and the clay pot is still not baked, it is wet. What happens if you try to put something inside? Whatever you put inside, there will be a hole and everything will run away. So therefore, this clay pot, you have to bake it in the fire of Sankirtan. And when you have baked it in the fire of Sankirtan, then you have something which you contain. And that which you contain, this is meant for Krishna. So when we are going through this fire of Sankirtan, we have something to give to Krishna. And this is what He really likes. Yeah? That means we can give Krishna something which He is eager for. So we are meant. Our life is meant for this. Going through this fire, into this fire, and give Krishna whatever we are able to give to Him. More, to chant more, to sing more, everything, whatever we are enjoying in our devotional service, which is meant as a glorification for Krishna. That should be our what we are looking for in life. And when we are looking for this in our life, what is the value of material enjoyment? You automatically forget it. Who cares about material enjoyments? Who cares about material needs even? You forget to eat. You forget to sleep. You just want to continue with Krishna, to give Krishna more and more, isn't it? So you overcome all these material needs. And that is real freedom. And that is the real life of the soul. And everything else is unnecessary suffering. Material life is unnecessary suffering. Everyone is unnecessarily suffering and rotting in the material world. Everybody is rotting in this world. So a devotee, he sees what they are doing, they think that's good. They like it. But actually, they are eating stool. They are rotting. And it's so sad. A devotee is crying, tears, seeing others suffering, although Krishna is welcoming them as his parts and parcel to come back home to him and be really happy. So therefore a devotee, he sees the necessity. I must go to them. I have to tell them, you have forgotten Krishna. Give up this nonsense. Go to Krishna. Come to Krishna. Chant. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To give this message somehow to the people there outside. This is the meaning of this movement. To give this message to others. And we have full faith and trust that when we have this spirit, when we think like this, then Krishna will be so pleased and said, yes, I like that very much. Krishna likes that very much. He says in the Bhagavad Gita, no one is more dear to me than he who tells the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita to my devotees. Who preaches? No one is more dear to me than he. What means is, if we do this, Krishna will take care of us. If we have this attitude, if we show this mentality, if we live like this, try everything for this, Krishna will take care of us. If we take care of others in this way, by preaching, Krishna will take care of us. And whatever Krishna gives, we shall be satisfied with it. As Prabhupada said, I just read in the beginning when the first farm communities started in America, then Prabhupada explained, when we are living simply there, satisfied with whatever Krishna gives, then we will be easily able to host, like in that case he said, like 80 people, he said 80 devotees can live here on this farm at that time, he said. So whatever simple living with the simple necessities of life, we are satisfied with that. Of course, materialists, they will see it and they will say, impossible, they don't want to live like this. But actually, this is what we're meant for, to live very simple and satisfied with whatever Krishna gives us. But Krishna can also give a lot. And we see that we are living in an area of the world where there is a lot. And we have a lot. We are not poor. We have pretty good karma here. Krishna gives us. We cannot complain. If someone asks us, hey Prabhu, how are you doing? We should say, well, I'm on a plane. I can't complain. I cannot complain. We have everything. Everything is there. Krishna gives us so much. He allows us to have so much. He could also do differently. There is also stories of devotees living in temples and farms where they were pretty poor and didn't have a lot. And that was a big challenge if you hear the stories how they were living. And glorious are those who went through it and stayed with Krishna till nowadays. So there may come all these different kinds of tests in our life, where Krishna sometimes will give us a relaxed life and a nice life with material necessities and enjoyment, but it is also possible that he will test us and will give this material belonging, will put it away, and will put us into difficult situations. So how can we overcome these tests when we have this taste, this higher taste, this spiritual platform, when we have this taste of Krishna, sweet Krishna, when we are enjoying and satisfied with simply sitting down anywhere and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And it is ecstatic. The beginning is Om. The beginning is like cool down. Don't go into that. Om Shanti. Everything peace. That's the beginning. But Hare Krishna chanting is not easygoing. It's not stay calm. Hare Krishna means you are ecstatic. You are becoming a madman. You become crazy after Krishna. Krishna is completely ecstatic. If you chant Hare Krishna, you should be so ecstatic. Your tongue should fly around. You don't want to stop. You want to have another tongue, your second tongue. You want to chant more and more. And after you have chanted 16 rounds, then you want to chant more and more. You don't want to stop. So we have to look for this every day. Every day is very important to get this. 16 rounds, very nicely chanted, without the mind deviating us from here to there, to stay on the rounds. And if you go on Sankirtan and book distribution and go on the street, you will realize very soon one thing. If I do not chant 16 rounds in a good way, I will die and suffer on the street. Because it will be very, very difficult. It will be very difficult. But if you chant 16 rounds in a very... okay, it's maybe a little bit tough. No, but it's also the other way around. If you chant ecstatically 16 rounds and you know it in the morning, if you have chanted 16 rounds and you are chanting and you just want to continue chanting, you can be sure it will be a good day. Because whatever will come, it will be wonderful. Krishna is on my side. I'm looking forward. Whatever will come, it will be really cool. Whatever Krishna will do, it will be cool. I'm looking forward for it. And maybe I will get humbled. Maybe I should not look forward so much for it. And then I learn this, but then something will come, and then it will be ecstatic. So Sankirtan is ecstatic, is purification, and every day you do it is so valuable. So valuable. If you do it for some years, you will understand that every day I'm not doing it is like a lost day. Don't let me waste my time. Whenever I have the possibility to go on the street and distribute the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's the best I can do. I have to go do it every day. I must use every opportunity that I have to do it. So enthusiasm, this enthusiasm is there in a Sankirtan devotee. And this is a very special gift, not understandable for everyone. And but this is the offering of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to become so selfless and become such a servant of others that everything else Krishna will take care of. We can completely have faith in Krishna that if we try for this, Krishna will take care of us. So therefore, a little introduction, because you will have this experience very soon to do Sankirtan here in Germany. So we wish you all the best and get prepared by learning from experienced Sankirtan devotees, whatever you can learn. But the most important thing you will learn is, in difficult situations, to surrender unto Krishna, really from the heart. And this is the real gain in the life. So this way, all the best from my side. And maybe we will also travel together. Who knows what Krishna will arrange. Let's see. Okay, this way. Thank you very much that I had the opportunity to speak a little bit on this wonderful scripture, Bhagavad Gita. If you have anything to add or want also, because I'm not the only one who did Sankirtan here, there are also other devotees who went on Sankirtan and have a lot of experience. If you would like to share, correct or add something, please share the nectar.
Like when you step out of the van and you automatically start chanting Hare Krishna when you feel the books in your arm, then it's good.
Then it's good. Okay, nice. Mm-hmm. Try.
A couple of weeks ago, I had a dream. I met someone in a dream whom I didn't know, and then I woke up suddenly because I realized I don't have books with me. I can talk to him, but I have no book. And then I woke up and I was anxious, but I need more books. I have no books with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3 weeks ago.
What is the conclusion now for you of this happening?
And then this decision came, like, I'm like, oh, here,
And you need to get books.
books and more inspiration.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for sharing this. You had a dream even. Dreamed of doing Sankirtan. Wow. Jai.
Prabhu,
Yes.
when you spoke about all the enemies have already been killed and being a tool in Krishna's hand, I just remembered how I was taught on Sankirtan always to pray. These books are already distributed, and Krishna, please don't disqualify these people because of myself. Don't let me stand on the way of your mercy.
Wow, nice. Thank you for sharing this. This is a nice prayer. Yeah, because it can happen that we experience it, that people are enthusiastic and open for the books, and then after some moments when we're talking to them, the mood changes and they say, no, thank you. Out of a sudden, you cannot explain. Did it ever happen to you? Yeah. This is what we don't want. This is what we want to avoid, of course. But also on the other hand, sometimes you meet people who are, from the beginning, look so uninterested in any way in the spiritual life. They look so materialistic, and you could not imagine that they are somehow listen to you a little bit. But in the end, they walk away with the Bhagavad Gita and gave a donation, and then you just think, how was this possible? Wow, Krishna, how did that happen? I cannot explain. It's like a miracle. How was it? What was going on? But whatever it was, it is because of you, wonderful Krishna. So, Sankirtan, you also learn how to glorify Krishna. Wow, Krishna, this is because of you. You are so wonderful. Thank you, Krishna, for this. That is very nice. Everything is because of Krishna. It's not because of me. If it works and if it's wonderful, then it's because of Krishna. But it looks wonderful and something messes it up, then it's because of me. But if it's nice, then it's because of Krishna. So then we can really lament and say, oh Krishna, I'm useless. And I'm not at all qualified. I'm not at all qualified to be called a devotee of you. I'm not at all, have no qualification to be here. But somehow or other you give me the mercy. And I thank you so much for this. And then suddenly we are humble. Then we are humble, and then Krishna says, now you have understood. And then suddenly something happens. Persons after persons are coming, and they look into it and say, wow, you are so nice. And I feel so much warm coming from you, and all these things people are saying. Or sometimes they even say, I'm not interested at all in this. I have nothing to do with yoga. I don't like it. But I feel so much love coming from you. I want to have it. Take it. All these things. That can happen. These wonderful things can happen. And you cannot explain how is it possible. But this is the wonder, the miracle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That even the most completely unqualified, nasty, fallen, dirty, materialistic personalities, Jaga and Madhai, he takes them. Nityananda says, go to him. And then it happens. It happens there where you would not have expected it. You think we have to do it like this. But what did Prabhupada? Where did he went? Where did he start the movement? With what kind of people did he start the movement? And what did he preach? Next 10,000 years, the law book, the movement which will save the world from its darkest hour. So there we went. This is the movement. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's wonder. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much that I can be part in this, and we are very eager to share whatever we have experienced and give it to others. And we thank you very much that you made the long journey to here, and especially you made the journey because of this, because of Sankirtan, because of book distribution. You are highly welcome, and we are ready to give as much as we can, inspiration and practical tips, so that the fire may also start to burn in you for Sankirtan, to become a Sankirtan devotee. Okay. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, the greatest Sankirtan devotee. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol. Thank you.
Kripa Sindhu ki
Prabhupada ki jai.